feeling confused, frustrated? How about angry? Up until recently, I thought that there were 3 different emotions. You were either happy, sad, or mad. But the truth is, there are so many emotions and feelings. How are we ever supposed to deal with them all? My name is Martha, and I work for the Canadian Mental Health Association of New Brunswick as the Community Program Coordinator for Sussex and area. And I'd like to share with you what I've learned about emotional regulation. Emotional regulation is our ability to control or influence our experiences and express our feelings. The fact is that there are 8 basic emotions. There's fear, and that is when you are feeling afraid. Other words may be terror or shock or phobia. And then there's anger. This is when you're feeling angry, and a stronger word may be rage. Sadness is when you're feeling sad. Other words for that may be sorrow or grief, as if you've lost a loved one. Also depression, and some people feel that depression that lasts for a long time is actually a different emotion. And then there's joy, and this is when you're feeling happy. Other words for that may be happiness or gladness. And then disgust is when you have a feeling that something is wrong or dirty. And then trust is a positive emotion, and admiration is stronger, and acceptance is weaker. Anticipation is the sense of looking forward positively to something that is going to happen. Expectation is more neutral. Surprise, how one feels when something unexpected happens. So you were born with these emotions wired into your brain, and that wiring is what causes your body to react in certain ways, for you to have certain urges when an emotion arises. Essentially, emotions are physical and instinctive. Feelings, on the other hand, they play out in our heads. They are mental associations and reactions to an emotion that are personal and acquired through experience. Your feelings about something are the things that you think and feel about it, or your attitude towards it. So what's the difference between emotions and feelings? And how can we ever deal with them in a healthy way? Emotion is when your brain sends messages that triggers your body's responses. Your feelings trigger the way that you think about the situation. Feeling a certain way doesn't get us into trouble, but our behavior can. For instance, have you ever been angry and maybe did something that you regretted later? Perhaps you yelled at someone, or you threw things, or maybe you squealed your tires as you went out the driveway. Anger is just an emotion. It's neither bad nor good. However, it's our behavior, angry behaviors, that can often cause us the problem. So here's a bit of theory. An event leads to a thought, which leads to a chemical reaction, which leads to the emotion, which leads to behavior, and ends in a reaction. So something happens that triggers your brain. It could be something insignificant, such as a smell or a song, or maybe someone has said something to you that you find upsetting. It could even be an event that comes to mind that sets off the process. Now your brain interprets the event. Your current perception is influenced by past experiences. It could also be lessons that you've learned through those situations and understanding of the present social setting. So in order to interpret the situation accurately, you need to possess many experiences and a lot of knowledge of social norms. The brain then responds to the thought you have by signaling a chemical reaction. And this released chemical then creates a psychological sensation which the individual recognizes as a particular feeling. So for example, you may begin to sweat, or the hair on your back of your head begins to raise. And so therefore, regardless of the situation, everyone has a different response to their emotions depending on how your body reacts to it. Then there is the behavior. You as a person will choose a behavior based on your interpretation of the situation that you are perceiving. You are going to label the emotion. You're going to think, am I happy? Am I sad? Am I upset? Am I angry? And the list goes on. And you are going to choose from a list of behaviors what you will act upon. Will you hit, kick, run away, talk calmly, please keep in mind that no two people are alike, which means that not everyone will choose the same options that you do. For example, children will learn their behaviors by watching and learning from others around them. So what are some things that we can do to feel better when our emotions and feelings seem to just hijack our very being? Maybe we could try some immediate strategies, such as deep breathing, timeouts, and positive self-talk. And then, of course, we have preventative strategies, which could be an exercise program and changing our irrational beliefs. So first of all, acknowledge what you are feeling. Try not to judge it. There is a reason that you feel the way you feel. That is normal. You are normal. Also, realize that change begins with you. You are in control. Do you want to live this way for the rest of your life? Likely not. But you can begin to feel optimistic and become willing to change. And then learn new ways to cope. So change your response pattern. If you think about a ball game, if things aren't going well, the team can call a timeout. And the game stops, and the coach and the team spend a few minutes together thinking about ways to improve their game. You too have that option. Some new healthier ways of coping could be to recognize your warning signs. We generally don't go from 0 to 60 in a second, but it feels that way. So there's usually something that has transpired, perhaps even days before, that triggers our response. Also, we can go for a walk. Walking is great exercise, and it also has benefits for your physical and mental health. Timeouts. The formal use of a timeout involves relationships with other people, like your family, your friends, your coworkers. The formal use of a timeout involves having an agreement or prearranged plan that you can leave, but it's agreed that you will come back and discuss it when cooler heads prevail. I have something else that I'd like to mention. Our expectations are powerful. What we think, feel, and do is frequently related to the expectations that we have for ourselves and others for the situation that we encounter. The high expectations that we set for ourselves when they're not met can cause very intense feelings. So when the results we anticipate do not happen, we become frustrated and irritable. The message that we give ourselves is that we are a total failure because we didn't achieve our goal. Our high expectations of others can also cause us to feel badly and can cause relationship problems. Think of a time that you've expected someone to say something, do something, act a certain way, and they didn't. Chances are their failing to meet your expectations made you angry, frustrated, or confused. Also, expecting someone to always act the way that they always have can also lead to anticipatory feelings. You think, he's never going to change, she's always going to treat me this way. And so therefore, expecting someone to do something that you don't like causes anger, grief, frustration, and before the person has actually acted provokingly. So is setting low expectations the way to go? Nope. Low expectations make you give up more easily and become more frustrated, and anger may result in desperation. High or low expectations may create problems for us. Set realistic expectations. Be flexible. Try not to imagine how things will go or should go, and communicate your expectations. Others are not mind readers, so they cannot do what you expect when they don't know what you expect. So letting others know what you expect of them is a characteristic of a productive, healthy relationship and effective organizations. By telling others what you expect of them, it gives them the ability to weigh in. If they feel that they can't meet your expectations, then they're able to explain their viewpoint, and together you can reach a realistic expectation. Everyone has expectations, and when you can identify, clarify, and communicate yours, you can begin to expect that they will work for you. So before I go, I'd like to share the secret to success when it comes to healthy ways to deal with our emotions and feelings. First of all, practice. You need to practice the strategies which you've decided to try. Realize that what works for me may not work for you. And that's okay, because we are all different. And that is quite amazing when you think about it. And then perseverance. Keep trying. Even if you don't get the immediate results that you're looking for, nobody jumps on a skateboard and does the backside 80 their first time. So be determined and you will get there. And then be patient. The coping skills that you've learned and have been using to this point have taken you years to develop. So it's going to take some time to learn some healthier skills. And then plan what you are going to do. And be optimistic. Approach managing what you feel from an optimistic point of view. You can and you will. Take responsibility. Others may be able to help you out, but ultimately you are responsible for changing your behavior. And lastly, control. Remember, you have control. Change your behavior. Lastly, I'd like to share a story with you from my own childhood. My mom used to ask me to sweep the kitchen, and instead of grabbing a dustpan, I swept the dirt under the rug at the door. And that worked great until the dirt built up and my mom wasn't able to open the door one morning. So this taught me a very important lesson. If you sweep things under the rug, they will come back to bite you later. And so you cannot truly move on until you have dealt with your problem or emotion. So thank you for watching, and I hope that you found what I had to share today helpful. Bye-bye.